What's the one sport where the spectators and participants don't know the score or winner until the event has ended? You'll find out as one of these three contestants wins the chance to drive home in this brand new Pontiac Grand Am in just a split second. And now, here's the star of our show, Monty Hall.
Thank you very much and welcome. Thank you. Welcome to the contestants, to the audience, and all of you watching us at home right now. This is Split Second and a lot of fun, fast-paced game show. I hope you play the quiz along with the contestants, see how good you are, too. Incidentally, how good were you with the first question today? The sport where nobody knows what's what until it's all over is boxing. That's right, you have to wait till it's all over and the judges tell you what happened. It's one of the few sports where you don't know the score. I guess that could go, come to think of it, you could go for diving, where you have to wait for the officials too. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk to my writers about that. They don't know the score until I tell them the score. And the score here is that we have a champion, Teresa Schechter. And let me see, on yesterday's program, you won some money and you had a chance to go to Paris. You said, no, I'm going to turn it down and come back tomorrow and see if I can't win the car. On Split Second, every day we improve the gift, and every day we get a little closer to your car. We improve your odds, and if you can stay for 5 days, you win the car automatically. Teresa, tell us something about yourself. I know that you don't like Chinese food, but there must be more to you than that.
Well, I'm a graphic designer. I work in a newspaper. And what else? I like to travel, even though I turned down the trip to Paris.
Well, we'll see if you win today. We can entice you with some money to go along with that trip, but we'll see what happens. You have two new challengers playing against you, and we're going to meet them through Sandy Hoyt.
Well, Monty, our first challenger is a man who took up parachuting to try to overcome his fear of heights. But it didn't work on Dr. Stephen Schumack. And next to him is a lady who's quietly looking for a hitman who will bump off a computer at her house, Ellie Rod.
You know, there's nothing like these intriguing stories that Sandy gives me at the beginning of the show. Now I'm just dying to ask questions about the parachute jumper and about a hitman for a computer, but we will find out about Steve and Ellie when we get into the second round. But now we're going to start the show and start the game. And for the benefit of those who are watching for the first time, let me tell you how we play the game. There are 3 answers to every question that I ask. The contestants give me 1 each. And if each of them do come up with the answer, they will get $10 in this first round. If only 2 of them come up with the answer, it's $25. If only 1 person comes up with the answer, it's $50. They jump in as fast as they can, but you don't hit the button until you see the full question on the screen. If you buzz in too soon, we have a cutoff button and you can't answer until last position. Here we go. Are you ready? Many major cities of the world became major because they were established on a navigable river. So here are 3 cities. Pick one and name the river it's on. Look at the screen. What river is Rome on? Paris and London. This should be an easy start for you, Stephen.
London is on the Thames.
Correct. Teresa?
Paris is on the Seine.
Right. And Ellie? Rome is on the?
Rome is on the... I pass. Sorry.
Tiber. The Tiber River. Okay, so 2 of you score. Teresa and Stephen get $25 each. Now, having said something and spoken, all the nerves are gone. Right, Ellie?
Yes.
Any self-respecting collector of 60s music wouldn't be caught dead without the following 3 albums as part of their collection. I'll give you the titles. You pick one and name the artist or artists who recorded it. Look at the screen. John Wesley Harding, Rubber Soul, and Beggar's Banquet. And Teresa, you're in first.
Rubber Soul is by the Beatles.
Correct. Stephen?
Beggar's Banquet, Rolling Stones.
Right. And John Wesley Harding?
Sorry again.
I'm sorry for you. Bob Dylan is the answer to that one. Teresa, Stephen again get $25. Despite the efforts of some women lib groups, the dictionary still lists the feminine form for a number of our words. So pick one of these 3 words and give me the feminine form. Look at the screen. For aviator, masseur, and ballet dancer, Teresa.
Aviator is aviatrix.
Correct. Stephen.
Ballet dancer is a ballerina.
Right. And what do you call a female masseur, Ellie?
Masseuse.
Masseuse. Good. All of you get $10. Or each of you get $10. There aren't too many famous folks named Rod. But we got at least 3 of them, and I know more than that. Pick a set of facts and give me Rod's last name. Look at the screen. There are the clues about these 3 Rods, and you pick one and tell me his last name. Teresa.
Creator of Twilight Zone is Rod Serling.
That's a famous Rod. Stephen.
The star of The Pawnbroker was Rod Steiger.
Right. And Ellie, who is the poet and the singer and the next soccer player?
I can only think of Rod McEwen.
Well, that was a good Rod, but this is Rod Stewart, is the one that
Oh,
we were
of
thinking of.
course.
Well, yes, and then there's Rod Laver, the tennis player, and there's a few famous Rods. Teresa and Stephen gain a few yards and rods on you right now, Ellie. Many of us think of animals as noble creatures, so much so that some animals have names that include royal titles. I'll give you the title, you name the animals. Look at the screen. The Alaska King what, the poisonous King what, and the Antarctica Emperor what? Teresa.
The Alaskan king crab.
Good for you, Stephen.
The Antarctica Emperor penguin.
Right, and the poisonous King
King.
Cobra, Ellie. Cobra. It's so easy when you write the answers down on a piece of
I
paper,
know.
but when you have to face my ugly face, you just go cold on, you know. Teresa, Stephen, $25 apiece. The applause was for my ugly face? Thanks a lot, folks. Speaking of animals, as we just were, different cuts of pork come from different parts of the pig. I'll name some of these cuts. You tell me which end they're from, the front or the back. Look at the screen. They are Canadian bacon, ham, and pork tenderloin. Front or back, Teresa?
Ham is from the front.
Wrong. Stephen?
Pork tenderloin is from the front.
No, that's wrong. And Canadian bacon, Ellie?
Is from the back.
And you got it all yourself, $50 worth. They were all from the back. It also helps when the others miss, doesn't it? And they're all of those parts were from the back. Hans Christian Andersen called the fairy tales he wrote trifles. And yet it was his fairy tales that brought him worldwide recognition. I'll give you part of the titles of 3 of his best-loved fairy tales. Pick one and complete it. Look at the screen. The Red, the Snow, the Emperors. Stephen's in first.
The Snow Queen.
Snow Queen is right. Teresa?
The Emperor's New Clothes.
That's correct. And the Red
Skates.
shoes, Ellie. Remember that wonderful picture with
Yes,
Moira
I
Shearer
do.
and Albert Basserman standing there saying, "You've got to get the red shoes, the red shoes, the red shoes." I loved that picture for years. I went around saying, "The red shoes, the red shoes." Anyhow, no points because you had skates instead of the shoes. It's rhyme time, where the 3 words I'm looking for all rhyme with the word bout. Pick one of these 3 definitions and give me the word that rhymes with bout. Look at the screen. He gives tips, the protruding lips, and the mortar. And Teresa?
Protrude lips is pout.
Pout, right. Ellie?
He. Oh God.
Which one are you choosing?
Sorry, he gives tips.
I'm sorry, you have to be fast. Steve?
He gives tips on the horse races is a tout. And
Tout.
I know
And-
them well.
Right. And wish that you didn't.
That's right.
Mortar that fills cracks in masonry is grout. So Teresa and Stephen, again, $25 apiece. The score right now, Teresa and Stephen, each have $160. Ellie has $60. Music of the big band era is making a comeback. Here are the names of 3 great band leaders and musicians of that time. Pick one, name the instrument he played. Look at the screen. 3 famous ones, Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, and Harry James. What instrument did they play, Teresa?
Benny Goodman played the clarinet.
Correct. Stephen?
Harry James played the trumpet.
Right. And what did Glenn Miller play, Ellie?
I was going to say trumpet, but I'm wrong. For Glenn Miller.
Well, you could have picked another one, you know.
That's right.
Glenn Miller played the trombone. Trombone. So at the end of the first round, Teresa and Stephen are tied with 185. Ellie has a long way to go. Maybe she'll come back in the second round where we double the stakes. We like to meet our contestants, find out something about them. They're just not 3 people who sit behind a desk. They're 3 people we like to know more about. We've talked to Teresa and Stephen. We heard at the beginning that you were referred to as Dr. Stephen, right?
Yes.
And what is your specialty?
I'm an endocrinologist, but really limited to diabetes. I'm doing research in diabetes.
I'm very much involved with diabetes. I run a big tennis tournament for diabetes, one of the biggest on the West Coast. And we're sending you all our money. You do good research,
We
will you?
need the money. The hardest thing about doing research is getting the money, not doing the research.
We'll do our part, and then you do your part. And we'll find out, if you stay on the show, I'll find out about this parachute jumping. Do you still do it, the parachute jumping? I did it once, and I said, why did I do that, right?
You've got it.
Ellie, there's a computer in your basement. You want a hitman to get rid of it.
Exactly.
Whose computer?
It is my husband's computer. He computerizes litigation systems, and I never see him.
Why do you need a hitman? Go downstairs someday when he's not there and smash the darn thing.
Thank you for the advice all day.
I mean, was that difficult, folks? Of course, you'll have to face him the next morning. I didn't think of the answer to that one. Now, since you're trailing in this round, let me tell you the good news, Ellie. That is that we double the stakes right now so that in this second round, if all three of you get a correct answer, then you get $20 apiece. If two of you get a right answer, it's $50 apiece. And if one of you alone scores, it's $100 and you could come back in a hurry. Let's go on with the second round, which determines who goes for the car. Well, it doesn't really determine who goes for the car. Who determines has the edge in the countdown round where you go for the car. And you want that edge. Great comedians of the past were often associated with a familiar line. Here are three of these lines. Pick one and name the comedian associated with it. Look at the screen. Everybody wants to get into the act? It's another fine mess. Now, cut that out. Teresa.
Here's another fine mess is Oliver Hardy.
That's right. And Ellie? Pick one.
Everybody wants to get into the act. Oh, Buster Keaton, I don't know.
Stephen.
Now, cut that out is Jack Benny.
Well, that's right. And everybody wants to get into the act was Jimmy Durante. Ellie, how soon they forget the great ones. All right, Teresa and Stephen get $50 each, and let's go on to the next question quickly. The initials PhD mean Doctor of Philosophy, and it's a well-known abbreviation for a college degree. I'll give you three other sets of initials. You tell me the college degrees they stand for. What a breeze for somebody on this panel. MD, MBA, and LLB. But Teresa's first.
MBA is Masters of Business Administration.
How do you like that? She left that for the next one for you, Stephen.
I'll have to take it. An MD is a doctor of medicine.
Well, how about that? Ellie, what's LLB?
LLB, I believe, is an attorney.
That's right. Well, I'm going to accept that. Bachelor of Laws is what we were looking for, the definition, but I'll accept it in your case, $20 apiece. Tommy James had the Shondells backing him up, and Jerry had the pacemakers. I'll name three other top singers. Pick one and name his backup group. Look at the screen. Huey Lewis, Adam, and Rick Nelson. What were the backup groups, Teresa?
Huey Lewis and the News.
Good. Stephen?
Rick Nelson and the Heartbreaks.
No, I'm sorry, that's not right. Lely?
Adam and... I'm sorry.
Adam, well, you could have taken the Rick Nelson. You know,
I
if he
didn't
doesn't
know
get
that.
it, you could take the same
Yes.
one. No, it's Adam and the Ants, Rick Nelson, and the Stone Canyon Band. Teresa gets $100, all to her lonesome. And she moves into the big league. There are many famous women in the Bible, but only a few have a book of the Bible named after them. According to the St. James Version, are these the ones? Yes or no? Look at the screen. Book of the Bible named after them? Stephen?
Naomi, no.
Naomi, no is correct. Teresa?
Ruth, yes.
That is correct. And Rachel?
No.
No. All three correct. All three get $20. A 19th century chef said a chicken to a cook is like a canvas to a painter. And right he was, because chicken dishes are favorites the world over. Here are three such favorites. Pick one and name its country of origin. Look at the screen. Coq au vin, chicken a la king, and pollo cacciatore. And Stephen?
Pollo cacciatore is Italy.
Correct. Teresa?
Coq au vin is France.
And chicken a la king?
Chicken a la king is Spain.
No, USA, Ellie.
USA.
Teresa and Stephen get $50 each. Love makes the world go round, in fact or fiction, but let's stick to fiction. I'll show you the fellow in the case. You name his lady love or wife. Look at the screen. The lady love or wife of Marshall Dillon, Petruchio, and Rhett Butler. Teresa.
Rhett Butler is Scarlett O'Hara.
That's right. Stephen?
Sorry, I pass.
Okay. Ellie?
Marshall Matt Dillon is Daisy.
No, his girlfriend was Kitty. And Petruchio was Kate in The Taming of the Shrew. And Teresa gets another $100. If you've got a sweet tooth, this could be an easy question. I'm going to give you the popular slogans of three different candies. You pick one and name the candy. Look at the screen. Which candy is indescribably delicious, melts in your mouth, and less than these calories? Teresa's in first again.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hands is M&M's.
Right, Stephen?
Less than 10 calories per piece is Lifesavers.
Good. And Ellie?
Indescribably delicious is Mounds.
Yes. Each one is right. $20 apiece. Put on your dancing shoes. I'll name three dances. Pick one and name the country where it originated. Look at the screen. Where did the foxtrot and the waltz and the tango originate? Teresa?
The waltz originated in Austria.
Good. Ellie?
Tango Spain.
No. Stephen?
The tango, Italy.
No. Argentina or Cuba. Foxtrot? You should have said that. That was the USA. And so, Teresa, I have good news for you. Another $100. A horse is measured by hands, the purity of gold by carats. Here are three other terms of measurement. Pick one and tell me what it measures. Look at the screen. What does cord, Richter scale, and ream measure? Teresa?
Richter scale measures the strength of earthquakes.
Yes, Stephen?
Cord measures a quantity of wood.
Right. And Ellie? The ream is?
Ream is paper.
Paper. Three right, three $20 bills go to you. The male animal of a species is designated by a specific name. For example, a male horse is called a stallion. Here are three other animals. You name the male of the species. Look at the screen. The duck, the pig, the kangaroo. Teresa?
The duck is. Oh.
Sorry, time's up. Stephen?
A duck is a mallard.
No. And Ellie, here's a chance for you. Give me any one of them, the male.
A pig is a hog.
No, a boar. And a duck was a drake. Duck was a drake and a kangaroo was a buck. Nobody scored on that round. At the end of the second round, let's take a look at the scores and who will have the advantage in the countdown round. Teresa, 665 will have the advantage. Stephen, 365 will be second. 140 for Ellie, she will be third. The countdown round right after this. This is the countdown round, which determines who goes for the car. The questions are just as before, but this time when you buzz in, you can answer one, two, or all three parts of the question. That lets people who are trailing make a surge to the lead. Now, what we want to do is count down to 0, and every time you're right, you'll count down 1 towards 0. Where do you start from? That depends on who was in the lead. Teresa had the lead. She only has 4 questions to answer. Stephen was second. He has 5 questions to answer. Ellie has 6. But as I say, here's where you can answer all 3 parts when you buzz in, and it makes a great horse race out of it. Here we go. We learned the story of the American Revolution early on in our school days. Let's see how much we remember. Here are some facts about famous people of the Revolution. You name them. Here they are on the screen. The author of The Rights of Man, the first signer of the Declaration of Independence, and the general who surrendered at Yorktown. Stephen, you're in.
The author of The Rights of Man was Thomas Paine.
That's correct. You may continue.
The general who surrendered at Yorktown was Cornwallis.
That's right. Continue.
The first signer of the Declaration of Independence was Hancock.
Good for you. You get all 3 there. And by doing so, you're down to 2. You just need 2, and you can go out on this question unless the champ makes a little comeback or Ellie surprises you. Certain Broadway musicals were so popular and got so much publicity that you didn't have to see the shows to know who starred in them. So here are the original stars of 3 great Broadway musicals. Name the musical. Look at the screen. Martin and Pinza, Channing and Burns, Streisand and Chaplin. The champs in. Teresa.
Barbara Streisand and Sidney Chaplin is Funny Girl.
You're right. You may go on.
Carol Channing and David Burns is Hello Dolly.
You're right again. Continue.
Mary Martin and Ezio Pinza is South Pacific.
You got all 3, and you're down to 1. Look at this race now. The champ just needs 1 to go out. Stephen needs 2. Ellie still needs 6. And here is a question that could do it. Writers through the years have given us characters in their books that have become so familiar we almost think they really lived. Here are 3 such characters in the titles of 3 fine books. Name the authors. Look at the screen. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Don Quixote, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Teresa's in first. She needs 1.
Don Quixote is Cervantes.
You've got yourself another championship. The Hunchback of Notre Dame was Victor Hugo, and The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And Teresa came from behind and proved herself a champion once again. Good for you. Stephen, doctor, you didn't win today. You're going to take $365 for your diabetes research. We'll buy you a couple of test tubes. That's about all. But I really am thrilled to see people like yourself engaged in research, and good luck to you and all the work you do.
Thank you very much, Martin.
And Ellie, you only had $140, but you graced us with your beauty. Thank you for being with us today.
I had a wonderful time.
And don't break the computer. Give me another chance, will you? Okay, champion, let's go up here and see what happens when we go for the car on split second. Well, Teresa, there's the beautiful car that you're going to try and win again today, and Sandy will describe it.
It is the sporty Pontiac Grand Am. It's equipped with all of Grand Am's standard features like the fuel-injected 4-cylinder engine, cruise control, and AM/FM stereo cassette player, plus air conditioning.
Well, Teresa, back of me we have 5 screens, and these screens say split second. Behind 3 of those screens, the word car appears. Behind the other 2, there's a prize.
Well, Teresa will fly you and a companion to Paris, where you'll stay at a first-class hotel and from there visit all of Paris's famous landmarks, from the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre.
What number would you like to see first?
Number 3.
Let's turn over 3 and see if a car is behind number 3. She has 3 choices. Here's the first one, and the first one says vacation, so that means there's no car back for you. So let's take a look and see where were the cars hidden today. What 3 screens? Turn them all around, and we'll see that there was a car behind 4, there was a vacation behind 1, there was a car behind 5 and a car behind 2. And so now you have a choice. Since you won that vacation again, you may come back and try for the car again tomorrow, but you'd have to forego your prize. because you're a 2-day winner, I sweeten the prize. It's a trip to Paris and $1,000 spending money.
I'm going to come back and try for the car.
All right. And every day we increase the ante for you. And, of course, if you stay on the 4th day, the odds are increased for you. The 5th day is automatic. We hope that you'll be very lucky tomorrow. Thank you, Teresa Schechter. We'll see you tomorrow and hope that you'll all come by and watch Teresa try and win the car on tomorrow's split-second show. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Here are your other players. We want to wish you well. And you join us all tomorrow.
Split Second is a Stephen Haydas, Monty Hall production.